Exhaust only gets to land the final Soul Shackles on one, but it's on Zaya Spartan, who's almost dead right here. Jinx Rocket gets flashed away from, but Team Liquid with 3 on 4 hold the turret defense. And by the way, that split push Zed, that Yomu Zed, knocks down bottom outer turret.
Really interesting way for Team Liquid to handle that push from CLG. Looks like Smithy wants to get a spear still here. It's always...
It's low.
Oh, he wants to get a spear kill.
Wow,
not
that
steal.
spike gave him so much health back. Smithy gonna smite the rev up himself. Nicely done on both sides, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good reaction from Dominate. Immediately going for that health smite rather than trying to save it to steal the buff. But the split push continues. Phoenix got a tower and a half in the bottom lane. And that was what we were about to talk about there. Interesting reaction to that push from CLG, where they let the push happen, waiting just outside of vision range, only to collapse with everyone and defend the turret. It's a very risky play.
Yeah.
Because CLG were fighting in between the turrets, but it paid off really huge for them. They bought time for Phoenix. And not only did Phoenix get turrets down and the global gold, but he got a lot of solo experience. So Zed spiking really early here. Level 13 in this game. We'll see if he can actually make use of those mobility boots once the mid lane vision starts to lack for CLG.
Well, we'll see. The next buy comes in for Phoenix. He's got a Last Whisper now, so his ability to one-shot actually anyone on the CLG team is very much available. Trinity Force, all the same, comes in for Link just now. His Manamune is basically done right now. The Muramana, rather. He's 14 mana off.
Yeah. The transformation usually comes pretty quickly after Trinity Force built. Those two sync up really nicely. And that's the big power spike that we've been waiting for CLG. So we'll see what moves they can come up with post-transformation, because Double Lift is already off to a very good start as well with that Kisana. And it looks like he is going to go with that Phantom Dancer as his second combined item. So he'll have that max DPS Triss build, plus the lifesteal to boot. Interesting prep here from CLG. We will see what happens when they group up. Will the Team Liquid reaction be the same, sending Phoenix to go split push and try and hold with their double support style champions?
Yeah.
Trying to support Keith. Because it is a dangerous game. You have to really, really be careful about dodging skill shots. Phoenix gets tagged.
His W's down for 8 more seconds. Gets ulted in by basically everyone and gets just exploded. No ward coverage, and of course, Seal on the bot side.
Yeah, he did have one behind Dragon. Afromu just came up around past the Krugs there. So Phoenix playing a dangerous game himself with that sideline split push.
Yeah. I saw 3 bot and was like, you know what, I can take that turret down.
Well, let's see what it turns into, because it's also Dragon spawn time. So very unfortunate timing for Phoenix to get caught. And it doesn't look like Liquid are willing to push into Fog of War against a squad that can throw so much damage.
You're absolutely right. Counter Logic Gaming get that Dragon uncontested. And now they look for maybe turret number 3. 2 outer turrets have died on both sides.
Oh god, the power spikes here. Seraph's transformation, Muramana transformation. Almost the Zanya's completed for Zion. But he has that flat penetration. He's going back for the Zanya's first. Okay, this call from CLG, they should definitely fight now. Everybody has the items that they need, except for the Phantom Dancer Combine for Double Lift, and he's close enough. So CLG should definitely be working with this mid game here.
Well, all that said, I mean, I do want to fight for Team Liquid a little bit and say a lot of their combines came in too. Double Lift, I believe, does have his Phantom Dancer in this buy. Yeah, he does.
All right.
Okay.
Keith
That's
has
Keith's
matches.
got his, though, right, of course. And keep in mind that Phoenix, being ahead of the curve, already hit those spikes as well. And it's just the Zonias that makes Zion Spartan unkillable, but everyone else a prime target.
And he's got Home Guard upgrade for his mobility boost as well. We'll see. The quick shove here from Team Liquid should be able to get it. Keith.
Oh, he got hit, but in comes Phoenix, looks for Link, exhaust on right away, and out through the Death Mark. Cleanse gonna remove something, but not the Death Mark itself. They go back, and I will dominate, but the Jana gets the reset, keeps the team alive. Oh, wow, close. And actually, Braum falls, so a 1 for 0, but Zion in the mix. Pops the Zonias, Keith forced to run flash, and he'll use. Double it hits him from downtown. 2 kills that fight for CLG.
Let's see what they can do with it. They've got control of the mid lane. Minion wave gets popped, though. Quas still alive, spamming his Tormented Soil. So just the kills right now. The thing is, CLG have complete control over the neutral objectives as far as vision is concerned, so they could try and clear out these couple pesky wards from Team Liquid. Doesn't look like they're going to go for it though. Quick blue steal here in the works for Double Up. Can he get it with the shuriken? No. Link got it.
Even goes to Link, so CLG getting exactly what they wanted out of that blue buff steal. All that said, this gold is basically equal because all said, the 300 turrets have all fallen. So despite CLG winning that fight by a kill, Team Liquid get more global gold with that turret.
All right, so it starts out 4 versus 4. Both top laners waiting on the teleports until there's the commitment from Zed. Dominant goes in and he takes a lot of damage from Double Lift, but Xpecial's able to clean it. This is the point though. Zion, wait, he did teleport. Yeah, he got up there. His Zanya's completed as well, man. He could go very aggressive. Basically, Keith was the only one holding the front line there with the threat. You know, trying to defend the low health members of Team Liquid as they tried to escape, but that flank from Zion came at a really, really good time.
So Zion Spartan, that rumble that's been banned away from him so many times in this split, he gets it here, and so far it's looking real good. And it may be a Leandry's next item, could be a Void Staff. We'll see what that Amp Tome turns
Pay
into.
attention, class.
Still scaling up nicely on this big magic damage carry.
And once again, Link, he keeps using his cleanse on the Ignite.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he will get to the point where he builds something to deal with the death mark, like a QSS. But not in the works as of yet. Looks like he will want to get some auto penetration. Looks of that pickaxe. Fighting inside red buff jungle here for Team Liquid. He should be able to defend their pink wards, at least.
Alright, so the ward line than what we look at here. CLG really taking it to Team Liquid. They've got much better warding around the Baron right now. And they're going to be the ones to push mid lane in first as well, again forcing Team Liquid back. So this side of the map slightly going to the blue team. Phoenix not allowed to go bot lane to split push.
Be careful about Aftermove. Aftermove has the hard engage.
Wow, the Javelin doesn't actually quite break the black shield. Friendly Raptor blocks the second one. Now they were aware there was a chance of CLG being there. They were right.
That was the perfect champion to go try and face check that with, because they could black shield dominate and then he could use Rek'Sai ultimate to get back out on the field after going back to the field. The only problem is CLG are very safe. Going with bait number 2.
He's gonna be real careful. Jumped on, exploded. Link gets the second kill of the game, and the fight has begun. A great equalizer. Buying a lot of time as Phoenix forced to now run as fast as he can. But in goes Zion Spartan, lands the Electro Harpoon, and Phoenix will be the second casualty. And once again, in goes Carolina to get that dark blinding. Link's still afraid.
Got his son. Alright, so in that opening, Phoenix was able to go assassinate Link to get one of those Aiden carries up. So once again, it's that vision control over neutral objectives. CLG really paying off there.
That's been very strong for them. Their mid game has continued to tiny leads now.
Yeah, so all the skill shot damage, not only is it great at turrets, it's great if you have Fog of War advantage, because they can land all the skill shots, instantly blow up one target, even though they had the exhaust on Phoenix as well. Again, the second shadow slash. That was just a mistake by Link, actually. Could have been avoided.
The exhaust from Outfit was also facing out, could have been enough to keep Link alive. So this play keeping it 2-0.
The third, and here's
All the same, CLG are slowly
5 seconds.
Only 1,000
Josh down the lane. He flushed it. All the way back up.
Liquid making a case for themselves.
up top the rondo, puts up
Maybe a
another
top
three.
team running in LCF, but another drag going to CLG's way means they're going to show you, man, I sure be trying to get as a ahead of the item curve on Phoenix.
A little bit.
1,700 gold, yeah, that's a meaningful amount.
Let's see if they're able to turn that vision control into another bait. Looks like Team Liquid are making a stronger play into the Baron area to try and get that vision back. And now they've actually bought a bit of time. They can get their split push going once again. Phoenix down in the bottom lane. However, let's take a look at his inventory. He has not brought any wards for himself, so he can't continue that split push. They haven't been able to open up that bottom side of the map and get any vision down for him. Without any vision, there's not a real meaningful threat down on the bottom side. Even though Phoenix is extremely strong at the level 16 for Zed, he's got that ultimate maxed out. But without the vision, you can't make a play down on the bottom side. Or, you know, you get caught again like we saw earlier in the game.
Yeah, 3 deaths on him, being the second highest in the team, means getting caught has been happening to Phoenix, unfortunately. CLG, I want to know what their game plan is. They seem to be mostly grouping in the mid lane, though still acquiring farm on important members of the team, but it's just 5 mid right here.
Yeah, well,
Mostly unwilling to split.
the only hard CC that they have too is coming from Africa, which is fairly defensive in nature. Brahms ultimate, Flash ultimate, you know, can be used sort of as an engage, but only if you're absolutely sure you have the numbers advantage. It's not very reliable. And on the side of Team Liquid, similar situation. They have to wait for Binding to land. Dominate committing with a tunnel Flash Unburrow. Very dangerous for him as well. So both teams packing much more damage than CC.
Yeah. I just want to talk about a little bit what you brought up about Phoenix not having any wards in inventory. He's mostly maxed out. He's ahead on Zed. It's hard to get item slots. I actually want to see him switch for a green ward drop or trinket so that he can ward for himself if he split pushes.
Well,
be a bit more self-sufficient.
Yeah, that is definitely a possibility. The thing is, his build could be altered to open up a spot. Like, he's gone for this extra, this all-in on armor penetration. Like, he's got an extra brutalizer here.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of upgrading to his Blade of the Ruin King. So he doesn't have the Blade of the Ruin King active. He could have opted for Blade of the Ruin King active to fully upgrade that item instead of going more flat penetration. But it does open up a lot. He basically can hit true damage on the 80 carries in the back line. And that's how he can take out Link or Double It so quickly, as we've seen. But yeah, that plus the chain vest here, picking up slots for Phoenix.
Yeah, just to specify the level of armor pen Phoenix has, if you had 100 armor, you'd actually have 31 against him. Here's the engage, though. Flash in. He looks for the back line. Goes right on to Link and Doublelift. Doublelift gets the kill on Rek'Sai. They're going to trade back one as Tristana has fallen. Aftermoon now locked up as well. Makes it 2. No 3 deaths for CLG. He's on the chase. Gets a double. He's on to Link. Arcane shifts away, but it's a 4-on-1 right now.
That's all they need. They can shove right down mid lane. That should probably be an extra turret. They could even turn back for Baron or press in on an inhibitor turret. Ooh, great ultimate from Link there. But a counter ultimate from Xpecial gets everybody back to full life.
There's no minions left, so the call is in fact to take down Baron.
20 seconds left on Zion, who has teleport. Everyone else dead. They should be able to burn this one down, but Ezreal's got something to say about it. Link, if he can get meaningful poke down, might be able to delay this. Zion teleport in 7.
5 seconds. Bloodthirster Keith, though, pretty much full health. Dominate comes to join the fray.
They got it. They got it.
Yeah, there we go. Great smite. Phoenix takes some damage. Who's going to survive? Scuttle kill? No, don't even bother. Keith going to get the team out of there. And Team Liquid get a +3 kill fight, mid-tier 2, and a Baron.
Huge swing here. Now, we'll see the effects of that split. Okay, so this is the CLG risky engagement we talked about with Braum is pretty much all they have. Dominate goes right in. They get the immediate knockup, and they've got Rumble and Double space. So Double gets off maybe 2 auto attacks that fight. And Link has to be scared as well because they do not have that Braum defensive CC to rely on since they use it for engage. And there's nobody to protect these 80 carries.
Yeah.
So the 80 carries, while they have the items to deal a tremendous amount of damage, CLG didn't get any poke down before this fight, and both 80 carries had to spend most of their time during that fight pulling off evasive maneuvers and running away, playing defensively.
You know what's incredible to me as well is I actually just looked at Quas's level up on his skills. So he's maxed Tremendous Soil for the pushing power. He's only got 3 points in binding. He's actually maxed shield second to make sure that when Phoenix goes in, you're not stopping him. He's not going to get stunned. Exhaust won't slow his attack speed or move speed, and he gets that combo off, gets to blow up Doublelift or Link, and they need quick silver second.
They have to have something to answer Phoenix. Phoenix has actually been such an underrated member of Team Liquid for a while. He is the one drawing all the attention away from Keith here. He's the one who's basically freed up Keith to play aggressively with this Jinx and earn those 7 kills that he stacked up with. Full damage build. Here goes Phoenix once again with the GA ready. Pops his Ghost Blade. It is a fairly short cooldown, so not that big of a deal. They also scared CLG off of the mid lane. Dominate's been able to push this side lane all the way up. Not the split pusher that we are looking for, but he did the job getting it all the way to the turret.
That's what I love about Baron buff, is once you've got that, pretty much anyone becomes a split pusher just with how powerful your minions get. And Team Liquid just using their resources. Well, if you're there, push the wave and go for it, buddy.
Yep, and there's the advantages of Rek'Sai. He split pushes top lane, immediately on the other side of the map, takes the cross-map objective. This jungler just pressured your top turret, and now they also earn Dragon. It's only number 2, but really, more importantly, it takes it away from CLG. That would be CLG number 4.
Yeah. It'd be CLG's ability to knock down minion waves a whole lot easier, and instead Team Liquid now have bonus turret damage, and just in time for that Zed in the bottom lane, Phoenix to make some good progress down in bot lane tier 2.
Yeah. CLG, they're definitely going to review that last team fight that they just had. As they've said, that's the focal point for them in their practice, in the LCS. They spend pretty much all of their time nitpicking over every single team fight. And Team Liquid, off the back of that one team fight, huge advantage. Slingshot in front of CLG. And they've taken so much map control. It's not even the gold that they've been able to come back in. It's the massive amount of ward coverage that they've got in the bottom side jungle. We keep on bringing up the split push from Phoenix.
Yeah.
Now he's got the safety to pull it off.
And that's a really good setup for Team Liquid. So keep in mind, last week they beat TSM. This week they're beating up on Counter Logic Gaming. Forever Fourth might be in the rearview mirror for Team Liquid here if they keep up plays like this.
Oh, jinx it.
It's too late, they're to pick the champion.
I don't know, I really thought you were going to come up with something better. I was trying to set you up for something a bit more magical than they have Jinx.
It was on short notice, I'm sorry.
It was a good try, though.
Performance anxiety, I'm sorry.
Let's see, though, because CLG, they still have plenty of damage. So, once again, remember all the skill shots we caution against with this team.
Yeah.
Link still packs a punch. He has the Last Whisper now as well. And Smithy can easily follow those up with spears. So, if these do land, a lot of long-range damage can catch someone unawares here from Team Liquid. They still have to be very careful and be very cognizant.
Yeah. And in the dedicated fight, Double's got his Quicksilver sash. He's got his ultimate stuff. He can knock back Zed by himself. He's got the AD carry dream right now. Double should be basically untouchable in team fights. And with 7 kills of his team's 12, he's poised to carry this game.
I thought the AD carry dream came with the front line, though.
Okay, true.
He's got Aframu, though. So Aframu will try and do his best to keep him alive.
Oh, there's a dive in. He goes through Link, who does not have QSS, and the turret goes down, but the fight's going to continue right away. Phoenix pops the GA. Janna will keep him alive, but CLG kite back very safely there. And it's now Team Liquid forced to escape, but they still got the turret for it.
Yeah, really aggressive use of the GA passive there from Phoenix. Trying to make Link at least burn some summoners. Only gets the ignite, or the cleanse out once again, but they took down the turret. So, they've taken down every non-inhibitor turret. And this is the real test, where it really gets difficult, is cracking inside that CLG base. Thing is, since they have so much pressure, they've kept CLG inside their base for so long, all of CLG's wards have timed out. This is the point where Team Liquid really need to invest in that vision and just litter this red buff side of the jungle with wards.
And just play for Dragon?
They can eventually just protect the Dragon. Well, you can actually choose either side, because Baron's coming up before, but the offensive warding here from Team Liquid is what they want to take advantage of.
Offensive warding, the name of the game for Team Liquid. I think also, though I agree with you as the primary way of winning, they actually have a comp that can siege. So rarely do we get to see siege games, but Morgana, Janna, Jinx is A+ sieging right there.
Oh yeah,
so.
solo lane Morgana makes sieging great.
Oh yeah.
Super strong black shield.
So, a lot of options for Team Liquid, whether it's the ward game for the neutral objectives or the sieging itself. CLG, they do not want to play dead. They do not want to roll over here, and Doublelift continues to farm on towards that Mercurial Scimitar, but he's 2,000 gold away from that one.
Yeah, let's see how it stacks up in the end, because each team has these end game carries, Double Lift and Keith, but CLG have just doubled down on their AD carries. And so we'll see if 2 AD carries is stronger than a hyper carry with Jinx, backed up by support shields.
Yeah. He's got Finish the Dream as well, going though for a Banshees himself as a way to block out maybe some of the hardcore stuns that come in on him.
It's the
Phoenix
skill
is
shot.
also really big. Yeah, it's a lot of the protection there, but the mid lane push comes in for CLG as Botlane is getting pushed out. Dominate finally rejoins the team, but too late. Certainly not rolling over. Counterlogic Gaming down 6,000 gold before that. They get a turret for it.
There's that damage from CLG.
They didn't spend their time warding very much. Looks like it's going to be Team Liquid who own the inside track on that northern river. And the vision's going to be gone for CLG, but mid lane, again, the target. CLG not going to play Liquid's game. They're not going to play the jungle game.
If you do not have vision on the neutral objectives, and you have this much damage, you can push down turrets this quickly, the call should absolutely be to pressure lanes and force Team Liquid to abandon the wards that they put up.
And look at that, it gave CLG the inside track.
All right.
Now they're clearing wards.
What a strong shove mid here. All right. Team Liquid, though, they even have, is that a blue elixir on Diana? It is.
Yeah, it has just a base damage. It's just good regardless.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to watch out for true damage from a special. Plus, she scales nicely with AP as well.
Yeah, I'm really liking, especially when players like Bjergsen buy it at like 21 minutes for like a mid-game push. It's just so darn strong.
42 minutes in. Supports get to play their game as well. All right, let's see how the maneuvering around Baron works, because it looks like that is going to be the call here for both squads, spending most of their time there. You have to always watch out, though, especially for CLG, and you're facing Rek'Sai. Dominate can easily solo Dragon and hold on to the Rek'Sai ultimate.
But look at this. He's soloing red buff first. Of course, it's a really short cooldown. 40 seconds left on that. He just used it. 40 seconds left in this one. He's going to take the red buff away with Smite, and he's got tunnels if he wants to go for the Dragon afterwards.
He can,
in fact,
so they check it. He can easily solo it while the rest of the team plays the vision game. Looks like they have Keith doing it, though. If Keith is doing it, then they definitely have to play really cautiously in the mid lane. Can't engage anything.
All right, Dragon number 3, so 5% movement speed. Special already got Captain Boots on Janna, plus a Talisman of Ascension. Movement is like the name of the game for Team Liquid here. They're going to hope their team flows like water around the map. Well, CLG.
They're going to have to flow a lot quicker than that. Looks like the speed is not there for Team Liquid.
And they zone him out. Wow, just rushing down Baron. Smithy gets the smite. CLG completely out-rotate Team Liquid and grab the neutral objective.
Again, every time you're facing a team with this much damage, you have to really, really be in place in time, or the objective drops so quickly. We saw what they did to turrets. Just did the exact same thing to Baron here. And a really good job of CLG being the ones to dictate even when they're behind. It's CLG.
Team Liquid and Gravity just played their second match against each other this split, and well, where I tried to hype it up as if it was going to be the super sick match, and Special thinks it is, but it was kind of a stomp. Special, going into that match, did you expect to do? I mean, you lost last time to them, right? So what was different this time?
The first time, I don't remember what happened, but I remember we lost. We were really sad about it, and then we just tried really hard to win this time. And last time at Piglet, and we weren't working as well together as a team. We weren't cohesive at all. And this time we had Keith, and we were just doing better in skins, doing better overall. So, I mean, I think we just look better as a team, and then our shot calling is getting better. Everything is just coming into place, and it's about time. The split's almost over, so yeah, pretty happy about the win. It was a solid win, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about all that. So your bot lane partner has changed. What's been the difference between Piglet and Keith for you?
Well, the biggest difference is going to be one speaks English and the other, yo, what's up? The other doesn't really speak English as well, and it makes it, I mean, it just means that when I communicate bot lane, I talk a lot more. I'm, in lane, say I'm playing Janna. I'll always be like, okay, shield up, shield down, shield up in 2, stuff like that. But with Keith, I'll be like, all right, Keith, don't die, I'm going to roam. Or like, I'll be a lot more descriptive. and I don't know, maybe I just like talking or something like that, but it allows me to really get more into the game. I mean, not exactly like that, but it's more that when I'm talking with Keith, I know that he's understanding me 100%. Whereas with Piglet, sometimes like, did you understand me? Or I just have to backtrack a little bit, and that makes it a little bit harder. But that's just like the beginning. Once you get past that hurdle, it shouldn't really matter.
I mean, so much of what we've heard about the issues with Piglet were issues around, you know, like listening to calls and that kind of thing. Do you feel, I mean, how's that translated over to the bot lane? Do you feel like it's, you just work better with Keith? Is the bot lane, are you guys able to perform better because of the fact that you can both speak the same language and all that kind of thing?
I think the problem that we had with Piglet wasn't really the bot lane itself. It was more how Piglet interacts with our coach and interacts with like Dom and the rest of the team. It wasn't like for our bot lane, we were doing fine. We're two mechanically strong players. We have a lot of respect for each other, and we were performing fine. Obviously, we could do a little bit better, but overall, it was just Piglet wasn't performing as well as we had hoped, and because he wasn't working along with the rest of the team, it made it a lot harder for us to play LCS. And yeah, that's one of the big reasons why we did what we did.
So, I'm going to name you two bot lanes right now. Special Piglet, Special Keith. Which one is the better bot lane?
Damn, Joe, it's throwing me the hard ball right here. I don't know, man. I think the problem that I have with Keith is that he's super young. He's still in high school. And this week, we only played pretty much like, I think like 5 hours of solo queue together. And the rest of the time, he was busy with homework. And scrims, we only played like 3 sets of scrims because he had school for half the day. And I think that the potential that I have with Keith is pretty high. But Piglet, because he's practicing all the time, and he doesn't go to school, we just have more potential. But at the same time, it's like if we have all this potential and we aren't winning, like if we were COG last split, then it's really hard to really look past that. Like, how do you get past this hurdle? Like, you don't. It takes so long to reach a point where you feel like, all right, we're really good. And that's kind of how it feels like with Piglet, where we're good, but I feel like with Keith, we're performing better, and that's troubling.
So let's say tomorrow after the match, let's say you win tomorrow. Tomorrow after the match, you sit down with the coach Peter and Joka Steve and Mark, and they're like, okay, man, it's all on you now. Who do we have on the team, Piglet or Keith? Who's our new starter? What do you say?
I'll do the whole, all right, it's a tough decision. You know, we've been doing really well with Keith, and I don't know. I would be like, this is a hard decision, and I probably wouldn't be able to give him a straight answer because it's just, how can you give a straight answer? They're just two very different players. One has a huge track record internationally, and the other is a rising star, and both could do really well. But I think for the short term, as I've always said, Keith is the better option. And what that means is that I wouldn't know how we'll do once Piglet comes back. Because in scrims, we've been playing with both of them, and Piglet has been performing well. But if we go 2-0 this week in LCS, what's the point? So honestly, it's not a decision that's going to be up to me. It's going to be up to the management for sure. So I'll give my 2 cents, but my 2 cents aren't going to sway anybody because I can't tell. It's too hard, and it's really hard to ask a player to decide who you want to not play. So I wouldn't be able to.
It was just a hypothetical situation. I know it doesn't come down to just you or whatever, though hopefully they value your input. I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. One of the things that they mentioned to me last week in the interview that I did with the coaching and management staff was that they had given Piglet like a list of things that he needed to work on. You guys have now had the chance to scrim with him all week. I don't know if you ever saw the list or anything like that, but do you feel like a lot of the issues that he's worked to resolve a lot of the issues that were previously there?
Yeah, he did. I think initially he was a bit strong-headed about it, but after a while he really just did everything that we needed him to. Like, one of the big things was he wasn't sleeping enough, and he wouldn't be able to be as focused on scrims, wasn't talking as much, and that was a problem for us, but he fixed that by just leaving more and just playing less solo queue, and he seems really motivated in that aspect. But again, it's really up to performance in LCS. And because Keith went 2-0, 3-1 overall, maybe 5-1 if we win tomorrow's game as well. So it's I don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh my
with,
God.
with, like, I don't know how the return pick is gonna do. So I guess what probably happen is we'll keep screaming with both of them because Keith is still in school, and then we'll have to make the decision. But yeah, if we win tomorrow and we're 3-1 just with Keith coming back, it's gonna be difficult for management to be like, all right, let's just put a new player, even though we have so much momentum. So,
what are your expectations for tomorrow's match?
I hope we win. I think COG is pretty good, but I've never been serious COG ever in my life.
Damn, what just happened there? You just were. That was like a very strong thing. So you've never ever in your life been afraid of going up against CLG.
I'm just kidding. I mean, they're a pretty good team. I mean, they've always kind of been the team to beat. They've always had so much prestige behind their name, and they've always, aside for like tournaments years ago, I don't recall ever like being, all right, we're gonna lose this game. Like, there's pretty good, but I mean, they've never shown that they have the potential to be the best in NA, at least in a long time. And I mean, obviously, it's a little bit trash talk, but not scared of CLG. I've always done very well against CLG. I feel like, and I just play very confident. And then their bot lane, they like to play as they play really overconfident. And when they go against players who are around the same skill level and just playing smart, they're not going to win because they're too aggressive. And they always try to beat people up by scaring them. And that's why they always beat up weaker lanes really hard, like especially in solo queue. They're always like 20-0 or something like that. But once you hit LCS and these players aren't scared of you, then your playstyle won't work.
You're talking about how when they come up against players that are the same as them or whatever, did you just imply that Keith is as good as Doublelift?
Of course.
It's good. I like it. I like it. It's good. It's always fun because like a lot of people like come out and they'll be like, "Oh, everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses and whatever." So it's good to hear people have some confidence and assertiveness in these interviews. Especially, do you have anything that you want to say to any of the fans out there who will blame you if their favorite player does not come back to the AD carry role on Team Liquid? You heartless man.
Not my decision. And I think everybody, the fans, the team, the management, everyone wants to win. Everyone wants the team to do well. And we're going to do what it takes. Maybe we'll bring Piglet back. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll try him out for a little bit again. I don't know. But in the end, the goal is to be the best, and we'll do what it takes. So thanks, guys, for supporting us all the way, even though we had a kind of rough start, and we're doing a little bit better now. Yeah, hopefully we can just do what it takes to win.
Would you ever consider crafting a coin, and on one side is a little baby pig and the other one is a toucan, and then that you just flip it, and that's how you decide who you lane with that day at the LCS?
Yeah, maybe come down on that. Be like, one day, all right, Keith, you're gonna sit there, and then flip a coin, and then Piglet's gonna sit there, flip a coin, and like, all right, whoever the coin goes on, we're just gonna pick you for today. I mean, hope not, but if it comes down to it, maybe we have to do it.
That would be exciting, and I would love to see that, especially in your show. Anyway, thank you so much, Special, for the interview. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of our coverage of all things esports at ongamers.com.
Both falling consecutive weeks. Longest game they split, and they have done it. Team Liquid.
Hugs all around, as there should be after that game. What a performance from Team Liquid. And what a ridiculously exciting game.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not just the name of Jinx's passive. Keith went 14-4-2. I think everyone got excited about this game. I know a lot of people said, how would you possibly beat Counterlogic Gaming? They're so good in laning. They're so good in lane swaps. Their early game is so awesome. And yeah, CLG had some pretty good early game plays, but
that team fight, mid-game team fight where Team Liquid were able to get Baron off it and secure several turrets, a huge, huge boost for them. But again, it came down to the very, very end game team fights. Positioning, double lift, got crit 3 times.
Yep.
He was off the field.
chances of that are like 70%-ish of 3 crits in a row with that kind of crit chance, so I believe it. Keith had 14 of his team's 22 kills. He was more than, or he's roughly 2/3 of all kills his team got. 14-4-2, great scoreline for him.
Everybody on Team Liquid, I felt like, played their role really well.
I agree.
Quas's job was to land those bindings. You know, after Phoenix, the point man goes in, draws some cooldowns and the attention. Keith on cleanup. He even played frontline Jinx quite often.
Couple times.
With the double shields from supports, you really have to waver back and forth from backline cleanup to frontline and try to protect the low health members as they're trying to escape.
Yeah.
Buy time for Special's ultimate to heal them back up.
And it's part of the power of Jinx as well. You get the 1 kill. Do you chase? You have basically a half second to decide. Do you chase right into their team faster than the rest of your team can follow you? Honestly, actually leading the charge as a marksman. And he seemed to make the right choices over and over again. A 54-minute game, nerve-wracking. Both these games, by the way, when Team Liquid had to beat a team in the top 2 of the LCS. It took him some time. I mean, there's some good fights here. You can't be ashamed of these games on either side, really. But
yeah,
you do say, look, Liquid are part of this conversation now.
They definitely are. They feel like it's the Kool-Aid man. They just burst through the door.
It's time
into the room where TSM, Cloud9, and CLG were all having their coffee.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, Team Liquid, really good statement win here.
Absolutely.
There are definitely things to clean up for both teams throughout the game, but man, did that make for an exciting ending as well.
Yes, it did. That was so much fun. Kiting back and forth, finding the bindings. CLG unable to enforce their will enough with their potent composition. Certainly had made some good plays to the mid game. But in raw team fight power, we saw the power of Jinx just pushing through on all of it. So that's it for us, though. We're going to send it to Riv, who's standing by on the winner's side, to get a word with Liquid's All-Star support.
Thank you very much, guys. Great job on the cast. I am joined by Xpecial after that fantastic win over Counter Logic Gaming. You know, it's been kind of talk around the scene. We talked about it on the desk a little bit this morning. Is Team Liquid a team that is going to stand at the top with these CLG, with TSM, with the rest of them? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I've pretty much been hoping that ever since I joined Curse. I really believe that our players are really strong, and we just lacked kind of the cohesion, and we lacked the shot calling, and that's something that Peter, our coach, has been really helping us do. He's been helping us pick some bans, making us make sure we know how to move, and sure that last game was a little bit sloppy, and we could have probably ended the game a little earlier, but overall, I think we played well.
Saying it was actually sloppy leads perfectly into my next question. What was the thought going through Liquid's head that game? Because you guys were kind of on the back foot, but it always looked like you had the way to get back in.
We were worried because their bot lane was just, we were always dying to their ganks, and they were avoidable, and we were just kind of frustrated about that, and then we were trying to make sure that the rest of our map was winning. And because Phoenix was doing so well, because Cost was doing well, and Don was ahead too, and Keith scaled as well, we didn't feel like we were weaker, but we wanted to get a good fight in. We didn't want to lose the game by fighting poorly.
All right, Special, final question. We've noticed that Quas, over the last 9 games, has played 9 different champions. Do you guys look at him to be a huge variable for the team and to allow him to open things up for you guys?
Yeah, so we invested in a 20-sided die so we can roll and see what champion Quas is going to play today. And today, got Morgana, got lucky today, but maybe tomorrow he'll go for, like, I don't know, like a Janna top. We might not win, but overall, we get the good side of the die.
All right, well, best of luck in the rest of the roles. We're going to throw it over to the analyst desk to break down the rest of that game.
Thank you, Riv. Crazy game. Oh yeah, exciting game. So much to talk about because so much was happening, and it's going to be kind of tough to pinpoint why the game actually fell the way it did, right? And so the first thing I want to approach is CLG's team composition, because it was a double AD comp, but with kind of a unique twist, pulling in the Rumble and the Nidalee behind those 2 champions.
And so the Rumble and Nidalee made people stay honest with their itemization builds. We saw Keith do a Banshee's Veil instead of armor stacking. Like, you couldn't armor stack against this team. The other unique thing was the Braum Q into 3 ranged guys that could proc it pretty darn quick, which would give them some pick potential. But with all of that, it made them a ball of Jinx death. which was a weird thing that they almost managed to play around. It was a new twist on the double AD composition that we hadn't seen, and CLG almost made work.
Yeah, the double AP, double AD,
Yeah.
support tank front line.
Yeah.
It's a very weak front line, and it's kind of like this team composition that Team Liquid made for themselves can kind of run straight through that and get to your double AD and your double AP, and then they rely on Zhonya's and positioning, and the ball was just a bad position to be in against the Jinx. So I think the Jinx pickup was probably the best pickup for an AD carry you could have possibly had on team.
So they also really only had one source of heal, right?
Yep.
So the Zed didn't have very much
RTC.
trouble getting in, using his ult, and getting back out without getting popped. And that was something that Kobe had kind of pinpointed during the game. He was using it on cooldown for harass, and we were joking here on the analysis that essentially he was using it as an ace in the hole in Caitlyn, right?
Yeah.
Put some damage down because he's like, hey, I'll give you a reason to leave the turret so we can take it.
I mean, I don't disapprove of that because they only have one exhaust, so he just uses his ultimate on cooldown, and then the second and third time he uses it, they don't have exhaust to deal with it. So he blows a QSS, then they actually start the fight 30 seconds later.
Yeah. So, Team Liquid side, they build this comp around the Jinx. The Jinx, as you mentioned, was
Awesome
great
game.
pickup. Great pickup for them. We saw Quas, Riv pointed it out, 9th champion in 9 games. Different champions. That's an incredible
Quas
champion pool.
master.
You know, whether or not he found success on all of them, right, is one thing, but the fact that the team has the confidence in him to put him on 9 different champions and say, we're cool with this, we can play with it, we're comfortable playing with this in an LCS match is incredible.
Yeah, and let's just be clear, like, this was not a team composition victory. Team Liquid didn't necessarily have the objective control or the turret pushing that CLG did, and that's why we saw such a back and forth game. They also needed to be very grouped up in those team fights. They couldn't make any mistakes. It was a super entertaining game, and obviously the Morgana from Quas was a huge part in their team fight victories.
To your point of the team fight victories, let's go into our first replay. We're going to go 33 minutes into the game. Mid lane, we're going to pull that up onto your screen right now.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about this one, this was actually a fight that Team Liquid wants to have prototypically in the mid game. We can actually roll this right now and watch the zone control of the Morgana and the Zed and how easy this makes life for Keith. He has one Rumble ult. That's all he has to deal with the whole time. The Black Shielded Zed plus the flashing Quas ultimate on 4. CLG literally just has to run away. Never can they get in range of the Jinx. I don't think Keith got hit by a single auto attack that entire fight. And that's what the zoning potential did of the Zed plus the Morgana flying in.
Yeah, Keith was having a really crazy game. I was sitting here, I was talking to Jad about it. I'm like, Keith, I don't know how good you are because he's losing lane at like down in CS. Then they're picking like team fights where he's not there. And then when he does show up, he does prototypical AD carry things.
Yeah.
But he's just like, I'm constantly auto-attacking. There's almost never a time where he isn't getting his damage off in an optimal way. Sometimes he wants to go a little too hard and the backline goes away before he does. But like overall, I think Keith does what Team Liquid needs in an AD carry.
It ultimately leads into this really strange discussion of like, was Team Liquid putting Piglet in positions to succeed, or were they playing around Piglet too much? Because clearly, an AD carry can succeed on teams like that, and it's Keith. And it's not like he's doing it through amazing individual outplays. He's making some nice plays in team fights. He's sitting in the back. He's building 90% crit,
Yeah.
and then
Oh my
bopping
God.
double lift, which was a huge turning point in this game. It's a fascinating storyline to think about because they have won so many games now with Keith. I think they're 5-1, including beating the top 2 teams in the North American LCS with him.
I do love that point of the 90% crit because
Yeah.
it's fantastic itemization, right? In knowing that you're against 2 other 80 carries, they're low armor, right? So essentially he's saying, I don't need that much armor penetration. I don't necessarily need the lifesteal to deal with a tank who's diving in on me. I just need to crit. And with the idea, or with the recent change to Phantom Dancer now having 35% crit to compensate for iEdge having less,
Yeah.
he ends up at 90% crit. We saw it manifest in the 3 crits on double lift. It just vaporizing.
Yeah, we were watching. It was like, did he get really lucky with
That's
no,
a triple
that's
crit.
actually what you're supposed to do.
No, that's a double
90%.
Phantom Dancer. That's what that is. Let's go to the final fight, right? Because I want to just look at, we were giving, there's been criticism of Morgana for not being fantastic in the late game in terms of damage output. She's got 1 spell rotation, and then she's kind of out of the fight for a bit. Black shields were on point, though. But let's look at the zone control that happens when you have a Morgana that's this big in the late game.
Yeah, just Quas's positioning and the way he gets into these fights is absolutely beautiful. And the way Keith follows up too, Keith is basically worth 2 or 3 AD carries. Because when you crit with the rocket, it crits everything around it. So he's like triple critting the entire team fight and doing so much damage.
Zed was so quick in and out
He's
there.
in and out, he's immediately out of fight, and then Quas with the follow-up here is just so beautiful when he jumps into this fight.
Flash ult on
Look at
4
the damage
people.
on that. Oh, and double lift is like, I'm gonna cleanse it, and immediately eats a dark binding to the face.
Yeah, at this point he has the Rylai's as well, so that added slow on top of the Jano allowing the mobility for the Jinx to really get in for the pot shots.
So here's the thing too is, I don't disagree that Morgana's damage is relatively low. Like if she's a mid laner, she's not in the higher end of things. And that's a very squishy team composition that CLG has. So if you're against like 2 tanks, Morgana is not the optimal choice there.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to feel very weak against them.
But as a top laner, it works out so much.
Yes.
And that fight and the one we showed earlier, in that 52-minute game, were the 2 fights the Team Liquid played just right. Like, when they play like that, and COG has not been able to split push lanes, or beat them in a rotation, or beat them to an objective, is the win condition for Team Liquid. And they optimized on it twice. One to get control of the game, and the second time.
Yeah, absolutely. A great showing by Team Liquid today. They have now beaten the top 2 teams in TSM and CLG
Really awesome.
in the recent past, rather. So fantastic to see that from them. Interested to see if they continue to climb the ladder. Now we're going to sweep the champions off the rip, but meet us back here in 3.5 for our final match of the day: Team 8 versus Team Dignitas. Don't go anywhere.
Woo! 2 cans!
It's like give it your all game. All of it?
More like this is a whatever game.
No, it's like give it your all game. There's 2 types of games. There's the must win, and then there's the give it your all. This is a give it your all.
With the ulti on, let's trade one back onto him, and will do so. A lot of casualties on both sides. Quas jumps on by double it. 4 kills to 4. This game Keith trades one back.
That.
I'm teleport.
I'm on. Down.
I'm teleporting.
Rek'Sai. I'm fine.